Let us go to the next example to prove the participation of local people is always helpful in the conservation of forest. In the previous example, we have learned in detail about the Great Himalayan National Park and how its beauty has gone due to the evacuation of this local people forcibly, right? So another example, if you see, in 1972 in Madhya Pradesh, there is Arbori forest range in West Bengal. The forest range is called as Arbori forest range. There is a forest officer whose name is, foresighted forest officer whose name is A.K. Banerjee. He found that the quality of salt forest has degraded drastically. So he was thinking what would be the reason behind the degradation of this salt trees in this forest area. And then he found the reason. Just before A.K. Banerjee, the forest officer who has taken charge just before A.K. Banerjee, he forcibly made the local people, those who are living in that forest area, out of that forest. So he did not allow this forest or local people to enter into the forest. There were continuous conflicts in between forest officers and local people. So what has happened? Meanwhile, these lobbying contractors, by bribing money to the forest officers, they were indiscriminately cut the forest, the salt trees which were present in the Arbori forest range. So 1272 hectares of salt trees area, salt trees which are present in the Arbori forest range were completely cut by this lobbying or bribing contractors. So A.K. Banerjee has taken it as a challenge, and he called the elderly people of that tribal people, those who are living in that particular area, and he made a deal with them. Okay, I will allow you people to come into the forest, and you can use the resources which are present in the forest, but at the same, by paying a nominal fee. And at the same time, if you are able to promise me that you are able to revive the degraded salt trees in this forest, I can give 10% profit from that salt trees to you, like that. He made a deal with them. He made a deal with the tribal people. So tribal or local people were allowed to enter into the forest by enjoying the resources which are present in the forest by paying a little or nominal pay. They worked hard in reviving the degraded salt trees which were present in that area. Within just 10 years, what has happened? The salt trees which were degraded again reflourished, and as A.K. Banerjee promised to the tribal people, he has given 10% of the profit to the local people. What I mean to tell you here is, basing on these two examples, though local people are depending upon the forest for their livelihood, at the same time they are trying to conserve the resources which are present in the forest. Are you getting my point? So that is about the participation of local people in the conservation of forests. And the next group of the stakeholders, who are they? Conservationists. If you talk about conservationists, especially with an example I will tell you, in Rajasthan, there is a tribal community called as Bishnoi. For this Bishnoi community, tribal community, trees are equal to gods and goddesses. Are you getting my point? They are ready to sacrifice their lives in saving the trees. So in that community, there was a girl, a teenage girl called Amrita Devi. What is her name? Amrita Devi. In 1731, some of the wood contractors, they have come and they tried to cut the kajri trees which were used to grow. Kajri trees which were used to grow in the Rajasthan forest area. and they tried to cut these kajri trees which were present in that forest. So this Amrita Devi in 1731, along with other 363 persons in her community, they went and they opposed the contractor from cutting down these trees, because they know the importance of trees in maintaining the balances which are present in the environment. So that a particular person who was ruling in that time, he got angry and he has passed a command. If these people were not allowed to cut the trees, you kill them and cut and bring those trees to that kingdom, like that he has passed a command. So in that or in such incident, Amrita Devi, along with the other 363 persons who were living in that area, they sacrificed their lives in saving the trees. So what I mean to tell you here is, some of the conservationists, these people will never expect anything from the forest. Their main intention, their main aim is the conservation of forest. They are ready to sacrifice their lives. So a teenage girl, 16 or 17 years teenage girl, sacrificed her life in saving the trees. Are you getting my point? Along with other 363 persons. So in the great memory of Amrita Devi, till today, Indian government instituted a prestigious award. The persons who were really working hard in the conservation of forest, they are going to be awarded with this award. That is Amrita Devi, National Award for the conservation of wildlife. So this is the award instituted by the Indian government in the great memory of Amrita Devi. Another example I can give you, I think some of you may have already heard about Chipko Andolan. The word Chipko means hug or embracing a tree. So this Chipko Andolan also started in India in 1970 by a famous environmentalist or conservationist whose name is Sundarlal Bahuguna. So this incident was happened in 1970 in high up in the great Himalayas. There is a remote village called Reni, which is present in the Garhwal district. So in this Reni village also, those people are having a very good connection with the forest area. When a wood contractor tried to cut the trees, the people who are living in that area went and embraced or hugged the trees, and they opposed strictly that wood contractor not to cut down the trees. Why? Because they know the importance of trees in maintaining the quality of water, the quality of soil, the quality of air, right? So they were strictly prohibited this, or strictly opposed the contractor not to cut down the trees. From that day onwards, this movement brought awareness among or all over India, and people are bringing people aware about saving trees and the importance of saving trees. So like this, environmentalists or conservationists, are you getting my point? They are ready to sacrifice their lives. They are always ready to raise their voice in the conservation of forest. So like this, local people, conservationists, always they are trying their level best in the conservation of forest. Come to the next category, that is industrialist. This industrialist and Forest Department of India. Industrialist has no role in conservation of forest. Their main aim is to cut down the trees and getting the raw material. Are you getting my point? They only take care of getting raw material. They will be just leaving hectares and hectares of land after deforestation. They will forget about it. I have already told you, paper industrialists or BD industrialists, they mainly depend upon forest for their own raw material, that's all. They will never consider about the quality of forest after deforestation. That means they have no role in the conservation of forests. The other group is called as FDI, Forest Department of India. Forest Department of India is mainly namesake. Namesake, it is I can say that it is just acting as if it is conserving the forest. But the revenue and income of the Forest Department of India is getting from the trees only, especially like the trees which are having high economic value, growing salt trees, growing teak trees. To get more revenue, to get more income, this Forest Department India or the forest officers clearing large scale forest, and there they are growing only these trees which can give high income or high revenue, like salt trees and teak trees. So when they cut or clear large scale forest area, huge amount of biodiversity is going to be lost. So for namesake only they are acting as if they are protecting or conserving the forest, but really they are not considering that point. So like this, four different groups of stakeholders in different ways they are having a relation with the forest. I think you may have learnt about Tehri Dam Andolan. So some of the people like conservationists and local people, they are ready to sacrifice their lives, they are ready to raise their voice in the conservation of forest. As a responsible citizens, you people also should develop environmentally friendly activities. Your concern should be always in concern with the environment. When you start growing such type of habits, you are the person who are going to take care of the environment where you are living. So far I have explained what are resources, what are the types of resources, among them what are forests, and what are the different types of stakeholders, and what is their relationship with forests in detail. Especially now I am talking with 10th class daffodils children. So you just go through all these videos which I have talked about forests, get some or gather some information from those videos, and from them you have to prepare a project. And that project must include project on forests. That project must include an introduction page, and after that what are forests, and you have to explain about some information regarding forests and how we people are depending upon forests, and how forests are useful to humans, in how many ways we people are depending on them, or in how many ways forests are satisfying our needs. You have to explain. Third one, sustainable management of natural resources like forests. So what are the sustainable methods we have to take, methods we have to follow to conserve the forests? So you have to explain the various methods, sustainable methods in the conservation of forests you have to explain. And the next page, role of stakeholders. I have already explained about four different groups of stakeholders and how they have their relationship with forests. In detail I have explained. So you just continue that relationship a little more detail, and you explain about them. At last, what measures we have to take, or what measures should be taken to conserve the forests, you have to explain. And in the final page you should add an acknowledgement or thank you page. So basing on all these videos and some other books, you verify and prepare a project and get it ready and submit me through the WhatsApp. Is that clear? Thank you.